Hi, Scorpio. So. Let me just make sure everything is off. How are you guys doing? Scorpio. There's been a lot of people thinking about you and like trying to exert an influence on you from far away. Have you felt that? Have you felt that like tug of something maybe perhaps a bit not unnatural, but not you, like something that's not you, that's invading your energy and making you kind of pulling on you? Does that make sense to you? Have you felt like an artificial hold or grab on you? Meaning artificial, not like drug induced or anything. Artificial as in like someone is pulling on you. Okay, so the reason I feel like that's going on is because you guys are reaching some sort of like fever pitch in terms of being really like feeling good, but also being successful, but also feeling sexy, but also like there's a lot of different things that are making you super attractive right now. And I think that makes people obsess over you guys. I think it's like really normal, for example, for like there to be all sorts of people who like think of like a certain Scorpio fondly and are like, oh my God, I loved her so much, or I loved him so much, and that was the love of my life. And the Scorpio, like if you ask the Scorpio like, oh, did you love that person, or was that person like the love of your life? Like the Scorpio is probably like, that person was really nice. Like, not that you weren't totally, like, I'm sure when you were with them, you were totally into them, but it just seems like there's a little bit more happening on the other side usually, where the other person is getting more attached and, like, kind of obsessing over you guys. Of course, Scorpios can obsess, and they do, Whoa, and they do. But I feel like you guys are coming into one of those times when it's going to be about people obsessing about you. And when that happens, you guys get like really into yourselves and really like overconfident, and then you start slipping up and making mistakes. We talked about it a little bit last month. Whenever you guys are being full of yourselves, you come up like this. You know that, right? We've had this conversation. I'm sorry that I moved the plant. It's not because I don't care how it looks for you. It's just that someone told me today that my plants were too dry, and it's because they were sitting on the radiator. So that's why, for the love of the plants, we have moved them. And so the other card that comes up, so this is what I was about to get into with the pulling on you thing. So 2 of Cups. And we do these readings so often, once a month. And if you watch enough of this stuff, right, you see the same card so often that it can kind of dilute not only the experience, but also the knowledge you're receiving, but also the weight of what it means to have a certain card show up. What do I mean? So if you watch enough of this sort of stuff, you're going to see this card a lot. And when you see that card a lot, then after a while you're just like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, that's the 2 of Cups, okay, cool. But like, this is a really important card. This is a card of the kind of great love that a Scorpio wants. you know, um, out of all the different people that I've known in my life, it was only the Scorpios that I never had to wonder how they felt about me. I still don't have to wonder. I never have to wonder because it's only going to take me 10 seconds of looking in your eyes to know. If a Scorpio loves you, you know it. You can feel it. It's like a current that you pass between each other when they feel something for you, when they let you into their energy, when they hold your hand, when they, like, it's very protective. It's like being let into the armored city or something, like you get let into the inner sanctum where you're very, very safe, and your needs are going to be tended to, right? So one of the examples that I like to use in my readings when I do private readings for Scorpios is your ability to really assess your partner's needs intuitively and respond to what they're going to need before they need it. Which is it's unfortunate that Scorpios can have this reputation for being combative, because if you think about that process of being that intuitive to the point where you want to kind of predictive like thinking, where you know what your partner is like or what they need or what they don't need, and so you adjust yourself accordingly and you adjust the situation accordingly so that there is no trouble, there is nothing to fight about, it goes off smoothly and everybody has a good time, and everybody looks good doing it, and we all come off, the whole thing comes off without a hitch. That doesn't sound like a combative person to me. That actually sounds like a very good partner to me, right? But like I've said, I've had long relationships. So one of them with the Scorpio. Actually, it's like interesting, right? Because there's another Scorpio like running through both of my long-term relationships, and it's this same sort of intuitive behavior. So the example that I like to give about what I mean of you guys being misunderstood in love relationships and also being taken for granted. This is the reason I'm saying this is because this is what's tying into, we're doing an intuitive reading. So whatever is going to come up for me now, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it ties in with what comes up in these cards. So let's take that example right there, okay, of that intuitive behavior. That is something that if you do it properly, it really flies under the radar. You don't like to do things that are the kind of things where the person has to go, wow, you did this thing for me. Oh my God, that's like embarrassing and weird and like, oh my God, stop. Wow, please. You want to do things that are so like subtle but effective, but the other person knows that you did it, but you want it to be subtle and you want the other person to also be grateful in a subtle but meaningful way. But the thing is, when you do something so seamlessly and you do it so well, people get used to you performing that service for them and then start taking you for granted for doing it. So let's start with, let me give you an example of the first part, and then I'll give you an example of the second part. So what's a good example of the first part, that intuitive behavior? Although most of you already know, however, I realize that a lot of people watch the Scorpio videos, not just because they are in a relationship with a Scorpio, but because they had one and they're still trying to figure out what happened there, because they have a Scorpio boss that they feel like they need to ingratiate themselves with and they can't for the life of themselves figure out how. Because they have a Scorpio child or, a spouse a sibling. Basically, anyone who has to deal with Scorpios likes watching these videos because they are at such a loss as to why you guys behave the way you do, which always puts me at a loss because it seems so really obvious to me why you guys behave the way you do. So, here we go. What's an example for, not for the Scorpios, you already know this, you're already like going like this to the screen and all that, you already know what I'm talking about, for all the people who don't know, and if you don't know, you're probably one of the people that are taking them for granted, so listen up. Okay, so here's an example of the intuitive behavior that your Scorpio probably does that you take for granted all the time. I am what you would call an irresponsible drinker. This is why I don't drink. Doesn't suit me. I mean, it's not that it doesn't suit me. It's just that, no, it doesn't suit me. I get, like, I wild out. Okay, let's just put it like that. I wild out. I don't know. I can have, like, a temper. Okay, things have a tendency, let's put it like that. Things have a tendency to go a little bit sideways if I, have some, like, Patron, and I don't really drink anything but Patron. I used to drink Jack, but, like, this going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem just for me. It's going to be a problem for anyone who came with me, and probably for the person who owns the establishment and their private property. So, why do I tell you that? And also, I have a terrible time listening to people. If somebody says, hey, Amber, I don't think you should do that, I think, well, then let's go do that then. So it's like impossible to get through. So here we are. I'm with love of my life. Get this part, not the one I was married to, Scorpio. And I want to have a drink. And so I say, hey, I would like to have a drink. And he says, stay here, I'll get it. And I said, okay, but you didn't ask me what I wanted. And he said, stay here, I'll get it. So I could have just left it there because, that would have been the appreciative, let's see, there's got to be some, of course, there's got to be some thought process behind this. Let's be amazed and appreciative when it gets here and then talk about whether or not you like it. No, not me. Oh, no. So I follow him over there. It's kind of an excuse, go over there and hang on him. No, but what is it? What is it? I want to know. What are you getting me? I want to know. How come you didn't ask me? I'm allowed to get my own drink. Kind of flirting, but kind of like also doing that. Like, I'm a woman. I'm allowed to get my own drink. What are you doing? You can't, like, pick for me. And finally, in frustration, really not wanting to reveal this thought process, which is why I share this golden, tidbit with you, which probably Scorpios are like, damn it, don't say it. Did he say it? Did he say it? Like, did he give it away? He did, because he was frustrated. He gave it away because he was frustrated. And I was pushing him, and, like, I looked really good that night. So I was like, come on, what's in it? What is it? What'd you get? What'd you get me? Flirting, whatever, but just, like, also annoying. That's kind of how I flirt. I'm just annoying. And finally he turned around in frustration, and instead of just saying, like, he like, turned around in frustration and just said, like, Cosmo Cranberry. No, what'd he say? He said, Soko Cranberry. And I was like, Soko Cranberry? Like, what is that? Like, I don't even know what Soko is. What are you talking about? Like, Soko Cranberry. And then he rolled his eyes and then, like, huffed and puffed and was like, it's sweet and it's strong, but it won't mess you up. You won't hit anybody and you won't get mad, but you'll want to dance and you'll have a good time. And you won't get sick, but if you do, it won't taste all that bad. And you're going to get sick. And I was like, oh, thank you. I still drink SoCo and cranberry. And when people ask me why, I'm like, because it's strong, but it's sweet. Do you see what I'm saying? Long term, that behavior gets so taken for granted. Like, think about the amount of thought that went into that for him. Like, okay, I know her. I know she's gonna wild out. I've been around her enough times to know that she's gonna like some chick is just gonna like breathe in my direction and this bitch is gonna go off. So like she wants to drink now, but I know she's gonna wild out. And all of this had already gone through his head, and he had come up with the perfect answer. Now I'm breaking it down a lot, so now it's like, oh, come on, was it really? But no, it is like that for them. That's how they are about things. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is that they put a lot of thought into everything that they do, and that includes into you as their partner. And so when that really beautiful, caring, intuitive, thinking 10 steps ahead of you, strategic kind of way of taking care of you isn't appreciated. And that goes for if you're their spouse or their parent or their sibling or, their classmate or their girlfriend. If you mistreat them by not noticing that thing that they do and really being amazed by it and kind of being grateful for it, then after a while, Scorpio starts to feel really taken for granted. And that's how I think that Scorpios feel right now. I feel like they feel like they're doing the best that they can in every way that they can. And what they're getting back for it is like, like, does anyone notice that I'm doing all this? Is anyone going to share this burden? Or is this just going to be completely on me? And because I make it look easy, why? Don't call me. Yo, people need to not call me. I don't understand what's going on with people. Who calls me? Like, if I know you and you're watching this, have you ever called me? Yo, text me, man. Anyway, I'm sorry. You can, after a while, forget how well you're being loved by a Scorpio, because they like to do things in such a secretive, subtle way that even you can forget how well you're being treated until they're gone. And they feel very taken advantage of right now, and they feel very much like they're being taken for granted. And on top of that, here comes this new impulse to, want that love, want that, Bollywood ending, want that like thing where you get what you really, really wanted. And it's going on for Libra, it's going on for Virgo, it's going on for Gemini, it's going on for everyone, Those two things, that's quite a heady mix. You've got someone who feels like they're being taken for granted, like they followed all the rules and they did everything right. And you know what they're getting for it? Jack shit. They're not getting anything for it. Except, like, people who don't notice that they put thought into a SoCo cranberry. Yeah, because you could have been out here puking up, Patron, having, like, knocked some bitch out in the club already, and, we gotta leave now, and, like, this could have been a mess, and I avoided all that by making the right decision and picking the right thing, and, most importantly, approaching the situation in a way where I didn't leave you a choice so you could mess up. Because I knew that if I left you a choice, you would pick the wrong choice and while out. And I was strong enough to resist that and be like, nah, pause, this is what you are drinking. And we both know why. Okay? This authority, plus intuition, plus caring so deeply, plus thinking things out, plus strategy. This is a lot. This is how you are loved when you are loved by a Scorpio. This is also how devastated you will feel when they are not there to do all those things for you that you don't even realize right now that they are doing. And guess how they feel? They're fed up. They don't want this. You know what they want? Listen, you see me shuffling. These are the only two cards that have come up. You know what they want? They want to keep their ego and feel, you know, they're really feeling themselves. They're feeling good. And they want this. Real love. They want real love, man. They want that early 2000 thing back. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want that real love. And that's something everybody wants, okay? So it's okay that that's what you want. Because that person's not going to take you for granted. That person is still going to be talking about some stuff you did like that a long time ago because it stayed with them because they still, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be with someone who really treasures that you do that. You understand? You want to be with someone who really gets that about you because that makes you feel even better about being that way, and it makes you want to be that way even more. And it's a self, you know, it's a cycle where you feed it. You feed that person and they feed you with positivity and attention, you know, because it wasn't just that he got me that and that was it and that made him feel good. It was that he got me that and I kind of pushed him on it, and then I was really impressed by why he did what he had done and was kind of just like, you know, that's what they want. That's what you guys want. You guys want to be acknowledged, but not in like this embarrassing way. Like, yo, I feel like mad people embarrass Scorpios all the time. Like, I've been waiting to talk to you about this. Maybe more cards will come up if we talk about this. I feel like, especially now that you're so like hot, right? Like, everybody's on you guys. It's like even more obvious that people make fools out of themselves trying to get your attention. Like, it's so funny to me because I don't know why I've always been that girl that doesn't need to like try to get a Scorpio's attention. Like, I just, for some reason, they've already chosen me, right? They've like looked around and been like, her, right? So I don't ever do that thing where I'm trying to like get your attention or like trying to, you know, but I've seen a lot of people try to get your attention, of course, all the time. And it is so embarrassing. Like, I think that it's my Cancer rising and my Virgo moon that's so embarrassed for these people because I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What is that person doing? Oh my God, what is that person doing? Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. And like, you can just see the Scorpio being like, like, and inside you're like, oh my God, what is he thinking? What is she thinking? Right? Like, you guys do such a good job of doing the poker face. Like, I have an Indian friend who was saying that Beyonce learned her poker face from Aishwarya Rai, who's a November 1st Scorpio and has like a poker face from hell. Like, she almost never breaks her, you know, her thing. Like, she's always just like got that Scorpio, like, I don't react. You know, I'm just watching you do this and watching you embarrass yourself. Go ahead and do this, and I'm just gonna, you know. So, yeah. People are going to embarrass themselves. Lots of people are going to embarrass themselves around you in March because they want your attention and they want your affection. And you're going to spend a lot of time like inwardly cringing and being like, oh my God. But, however, like I said about being that girl that gets zeroed out by the Scorpio, Scorpio, you're lying to yourself if you don't know who that person is that you really want to be spending these, like, you know, Sunday morning, like, pancake mornings with. You know who that person is. You're very well aware. And I think, honestly, that's why nothing's coming up. I think that's why the cards are being so sticky. Because you know that what you need to do here to get to the next level of happiness, because you guys are doing pretty well, but you know what you need to do here to get to the next level of happiness is to, you know, take a risk, a leap that you really, really don't feel ready for, that you really don't think you'll ever be ready for, that you would rather, you know, die than take, but you need to do it. And it's here, man. There's no denying it. You have all this power, all this magnetism. What are you going to do with it? You going to let people just use you and not see how special you are? You want to be with people who don't notice those little things about you, all the stuff you do? I know you don't. I know you're sick of it. I know you want to be with someone who sees you, picks up that you do that stuff and goes, did you do that? Did you think of that? Did you surprise me with that? When did you plan this? Wait, how long ago did you get those tickets? You know what I'm talking about. You guys love doing that stuff. And you need to be with someone who appreciates these things about you. And I feel like right now you guys are at a place where you're just like, you know, I don't feel appreciated. No, I don't. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like anyone sees the effort that I'm putting in. And I'm doing a lot. And I have a lot on my plate. And, you know, I got a lot to think about money-wise. Like, I got all these things going on money-wise that I need to be focusing on. And yet I feel like I'm not getting anything back in any area of my life. Ooh, I needed to get mad. Is that what it is? All these people just taking from me. Earth. Earth has dominated every reading. Here we have Earth and Fire, Aries and Earth signs. But you always come up as the Emperor in my readings for you because it's the way I see you. So, Seven of Swords. Like I said, you know, are you going to get mad? Here's what Scorpios do. Scorpios get mad when they shouldn't get mad. Scorpios get mad about stupid stuff. And then when they should get mad, you're like, okay, go. Okay. No, because you got mad about something really stupid just yesterday. But, like, this is legitimate. Okay. Nothing. What? What? Wait. Because you lost your shit because we had to drop my friend and she was a little bit late. But now this person has, like, really insulted you. What? Do you understand? And I understand why you do it, too. Because right now you're thinking, oh, my God, she really doesn't get us. Wow, she totally misunderstands us. No. I get that getting mad at me about my friend being late is foreplay. I get that. And I get that not getting mad at that person who said something really rude to you is strategy. Because you're going to get that person back later in a much better... I get it. But on the surface, to people who don't get you, that shit is mad confusing. And then you guys seem like the inconsistent assholes. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much. I'm tired. I'm a little bit tired, but I really wanted to do your readings, and I'm a little bit bummed about my plants getting like burnt by this radiator, and then it just looks like weird there, and maybe I should put something there. Maybe that would make me feel better. I don't know. Okay, so here we are. Are you dealing with an Aries or an Earth sign? Because you might have to deal with them again. Are you going to take this leap away from the stuff you know? Because right now what you know is like not looking all that great, yeah? Are we going to turn this around? Can this be a productive leap out of what we're in? Does it have to be kicking and screaming, Scorpio? Do you have to show up? As an example, you have to show up at 4 a.m. drunk and make a scene. It can't be like an easy, like, yo, I realized some stuff. Where's the fun in that? You guys are so dramatic. Oh my God. But if you are dealing with an Aries or an Earth, you really are feeling underappreciated, and you really are feeling drained, and you really are feeling like too much is being taken from you, and you're really being taken for granted, and the best parts of you that are shining all the time, that you're using all the time and giving to people all the time, are not being appreciated. And you know what happens in a situation like this? The first person that comes along that sparks you, or that person you knew from the past that sparked you, as soon as you start to feel this way, you go right back to that person, or you go right to that new person that you meet, because you're feeling so lousy. Like, I need someone to do for me what I'm doing here. This is too much. This is too much of a drain on me. And so, whoever slips into that role for you now, Scorpio, becomes very important, which is why, hello, be very careful. Because you're setting up the mood for the rest of the year, and you have to be careful here who you let in right now. Don't let someone in just because you're irritated and lonely. Don't let someone in because you really want to reach out to someone else that you really love, that you want to be with, but you're just going to take this person right now for the ride. Because you know what? Taking that person right now for the ride, I'm sorry, I'm going to be crude, but taking that person along right now for the ride, you knock that person up, game over. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to follow your heart right now and not your pride, and you need to do it because, listen, there are a couple of ways here that we can play this, and you can either follow what you know you need to do and turn this around, okay, and have this be positive experiences, or you can lead from, yes, your power. Yes, I know it's your power. You feel very powerful like this, but your ego. If you want to lead from your ego, then this being taken for granted, feeling this sense of like someone having this deep sense of authority over you that's tied to money, this will not go away. I think Scorpio's only salvation from the prison of money, this golden cage of money that you build yourselves. You know, you build that golden cage of money and respect and wealth and Rolexes and suits and all the rest of it. And then once you've built the gold cage and you're sitting in it, then you start to get really, really angry at how lonely and without spark and love you feel. And then you start to get so angry that that cage melts, because you just don't care anymore. And when you get to that point, you go looking for love. But what I'm saying is you don't have to melt the cage, and you can go looking for love in a peaceful way. Okay? You can take care of your money and still address how empty you feel love-wise. You can be responsible about your money and not self-destruct, okay? And still find out what's going on in your love life and have this full moon that's coming in shed some light for you on some really important stuff. Listen, if you think that something that you really can't shake, or you haven't been able to shake for a very long time, whatever, if that's like a book you were supposed to write, or a comic you were supposed to draw, or a play you were supposed to perform in, or a business you were supposed to start, or a relationship that you were supposed to mend, whatever it is, if you have something unshakable, if you have something that you just haven't been able to let go of for a long time, you know, for me, this is about your truth. This is the Moon card. This is about the universe saying, you know what? You need to stop playing. You need to stop playing, and you need to stop being scared, and you need to stop being defensive, and you need to stop hiding, and you need to just like take this chance. And if that means maybe taking the chance is moving away from an old relationship and leaving it behind and going towards something new, as long as it's based in love and not fear, right? When you guys are operating from a sense of fear, you guys get very combative and very mean, but also really lonely and upset. That's the part that gets me. I don't care when you're combative and mean. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't bother me. For some reason, I don't know. Your venom doesn't get to me. I'm like immune to it or something. Like you guys sting me and I'm like, okay, I love you. And you sting me again and I'm like, okay, I still love you. And then you're like, okay, I love you too, you know. But like most people, you know, you sting them and like you really hurt them, man. Most people get really, 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 really hurt by you guys, ruined, you know. I talk to a lot of people all the time who have been desperately hurt by you guys. And they're always like, you know, your Scorpio didn't hurt you. And I'm like, no. And the advice I give them is the advice that now I give you. I feel like the only way to really deal with you guys fairly, where you feel like you're in a relationship where you're getting as much as you're giving, is for you to be in a relationship with someone who is very honest, but is very innocent, okay? Doesn't have a lot of pride. Because you guys have a lot of pride, and you're very strategic, and you're very cunning, and I feel like the only thing that really works with you guys that keeps you from being super mean and stinging too deep is if the person is kind of naive and innocent and open-hearted and like clear. Like if they have no ulterior motives and they're just coming at you with like, I love you, you're hot, I don't know, I'm sorry, I have no other intentions here, I'm drawn to you, you know, then Scorpios can be like, oh my god, oh, this delicate thing. Okay, all right, take care of this thing. This thing is super nice. This thing is super sweet. Like, this thing is not like us. Shh, take care of that thing, you know. And they treat you really well. But you got to be super open and super clear, and really, you know, you're not going to be able to, I'm so glad I used that analogy, you're not going to be able to thank them for getting you the perfect drink so you don't get drunk later and get sick so you guys can actually go home together and have fun. You're not going to get to really appreciate that and thank them for it the way they need to be thanked for it if you don't get up into their business a little bit and aren't a little bit annoying. And if you believe them, if you buy into the hype of their like scary facade. Like, I think that's honestly why I always have gotten along with Scorpios and why my relationships with them have been so passionate and work so well and have like stood the test of time. Because like you can give me the scary Scorpio face and you can give me the whole shit. You can do the whole peacock dance. And I'm just like, that doesn't scare me. Is there anything else? Is there a second act to this show? Oh, now you're just going to be mean? Okay. Is there a third act? And you know, you guys, after you sting for a while, you're like, are you going to die or what? And when you don't die, when you're just like, then, you know, then comes the other side of Scorpio. But how do you become impervious to the venom? I think the only way to be impervious to the venom is to be so open and so clear-hearted about your love for that Scorpio that you know that whatever they're saying and doing right now is just because they're being an idiot. And you're just like I've had a Scorpio tell me, like, to my face, with, like, the most love you've ever seen in someone's eyes ever. Like, even more than a Bollywood movie. And with that in his eyes, I've seen the words come out of his mouth, like, I don't love you. And you're like, no, I know. That's perfect. You know? So, I'm not even going to, that's so weird that that's the person who's calling right now. That's so weird. You guys are so weird. Oh my God, please don't do this right now. Don't, no. Oh my God, don't be such a Scorpio right now. Wow, okay, so you guys. You guys are so, like, psychic. All right, so here we are. If you are not going to get up in their shit, if you are going to be taken in by their scary mask, you're never going to get to what's underneath. You've got to be able to stand up to them. Be brave. Confront the scary mask. Know that it's only a mask. Look past it to the soft center. Get to the soft center where you know they're thinking about you and you can see how their brain is working. Appreciate them for it. Praise them for it. Love them for it. And they'll call you 10 times in a row. They'll never let you go. They'll never let you go. They'll never let you go. All right. So they'll never let you go. Look it, Scorpio. Look it. Okay, I'm going to stop talking to the people who are obsessed with you and I'm going to talk to you. All right. Let's look at these cards. Because finally, after all that, were we waiting for that phone call for these cards to drop or what? God, you guys are so powerful. You're so strong. How do you do it? I have like almost nothing. I have like one planet in Scorpio. Next time. Okay, here we go. Let's look. Okay, can you see it okay? Oh, sorry. Okay. Is that a good angle? Okay, good. So, 2 of Cups, the Emperor, 2 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Swords, King of Pentacles, the Moon, 3 of Swords, the Lovers, and the Empress. Okay. This is what we were waiting for. We already talked about all this. What we were waiting for was this 3 of Swords, the Lovers, and the Empress. This card came up in the Virgo reading as well, and I'm going to interpret it the same way here. Scorpio, when you have an ideal of something that you want, I understand being disappointed when you can't always have it work out. But sometimes you have to take that risk again. You have to get back out there and you have to try that exact thing again. And if for no other reason, you have to try for love. I'm saying take a risk, but I'm also saying don't rush. I'm saying you know who this person is and you know you love them and you know that something needs to be done about it, but at the same time I'm saying don't hurry. I'm saying you've got a whole year to really work with this, but you've got to start working with it because you can't stay where you are. Yeah, you look great. There's no doubt. You're all spiffed up. You're all shiny. You're doing really well. It's all good. But inside, and yeah, when you're not listening to yourself, You think it's surprising that other people aren't listening to you either. When you're not caring about yourself and your own love and needs, do you think it's surprising? Look at that. Do you think it's surprising that other people will take from you? Hold on. It's not surprising, is it? It's not surprising that all these people are taking advantage of you. Did you pay attention enough to yourself? No. That's why they're taking advantage of you. So to get out of this now, we must use love and not fear. And we must accept that there is someone there that we really do love very much. Or there is some promise of someone there that we now are ready to meet. And that we can't do this anymore. That this energy has held us back for so long emotionally. The fear of getting hurt. But now we can't stand it anymore because our love is draining away anyway, even though we're not giving it to anyone, but it's just going to bozos who don't deserve it. Okay? Legit, if I don't take this call, like, he'll show up. So I'm going to take this call, and because he's a Scorpio, you guys should be happy about that. Because you know how heated you'd be right now? I can hear the conversation in my head. So, such is life, Scorpio. I love you guys. I hope this is helpful. I hope it's helpful to the people who are watching it to understand Scorpios better. They really are a very misunderstood sign. If you are lucky enough right now to be in love with a Scorpio or have a Scorpio be in love with you, first of all, be very grateful, but also, you know, spontaneous hugs and kisses, even though they're spiky and they seem like they don't want it, they love it and they need it. And they need to be acknowledged for the things that they're not going to show you that they're doing. So just pay attention. Pay attention a little bit the way they do, and it'll make them feel so good. And Scorpio, do that for yourself too. It's one thing to pay that close attention to the people you love, but sometimes you forget that you need that same level of care for yourself. And when you don't get it, then you start to starve, and when you start to starve, then anything you get to eat tastes good. The point is not to starve, the point is to feed yourself as well as feeding all these other people around you that you're so good at. But the point is also to feed yourself so that when someone comes along and says, hey, can I offer you this? You say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm already really good, but sure. You know, that level, that insane level of devotion with which you give, you need to give it to yourself. And one of the ways you give it to yourself is by acknowledging when you do love someone, or acknowledging when you do have a creative pursuit or something that you really have nagging at you and gnawing at you that you need to respect and honor yourself and get done. And this is the time to lay down the groundwork for that and lay the tracks for that. Okay? I love you guys. I will see you in April. I have a new channel. I will link it below. You will like it. It's cool. We'll talk about all sorts of stuff. We have a breakup talk. There's a breakup talk on there already. A new talk is going to go up mid-month. There's going to be mid-monthly stuff there. And it's going to be on the holographic universe. I'll leave Cynthia's information if you would like a mala. I'm wearing the lapis one. Please be very nice to her. She's swamped with orders and may not be able to get back to you for a while. Also, I'll leave my Instagram and my Snap info below. And one more thing, you guys, I will be, oh, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. I will be in the Bay Area early April, the first week of April. The whole first week, and then I will be in LA for the second 2 weeks of April for an incredible job opportunity, for a work opportunity. So I will be meeting with fans and, you know, people who wanted to get readings and just people who have like some cool fan club stuff going on out there. And I will be doing readings and meetups and all that sort of cool LA stuff. So I'll leave my email information below. And if you would like a reading or you'd like more information on any of that stuff that I was just talking about, let me know. I hope you guys like this reading. I'm so sorry it was interrupted so many times, but I know you guys like don't mind at all. You guys all stick together. It's so mean. Anyway, I love you. We'll see you next month. Happy March!